So how do you actually know if your ACL rehab is progressing towards your goals or if you're just stuck in the same loop with no end in sight? In today's video, I'm gonna show you very easily 3 distinct signs that you can tell if you're actually progressing towards your goals or if you're just going through the motions with no actual progress or improvement being made. Oh, and the third one is probably the most important, so you don't want to miss it. Hi, my name is Josh Irwanto. I've been a physical therapist for over 10 years. And during this time, I've helped hundreds of ACL rehabbers get back to their goals, specifically for running, jumping, and playing sports. So this is where most people get stuck, right? Is not knowing if they're actually going towards the progress that they want to, or if they're just stuck in the same motions over and over again. If you have a goal of getting back to running or playing sports again after ACL surgery, this is going to be important for you. And most people I talk to, they're not feeling stuck because they don't work hard. It's usually because they're doing the wrong things for too long. For example, if you're focused on doing your squats and doing them over and over again with no progressions, with no real plan, then likely you're not gonna see progress. So the first sign is time. If you're more than 12 months post ACL surgery and still not back to running or playing sports, that might be the first clue you need to tune into. Likely, you haven't been doing the right things. Let's be honest. A lot of people expect to be back to sports by 12 months or 1 year. And that's a very realistic timeline. But the truth is, it takes up to 1.5 to 2 years for that ACL graft for it to fully heal and fully mature into your knee. In that time, you're gonna have to rehab and strengthen and all the things that you're probably doing. What most people don't know is that doing the wrong things, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're not actually just gonna see progress magically just because you're at 12 months post-op. So you've gotta be doing the right things. Now, yes, the ACL graft takes over 18 months, so 1.5 years to fully mature and heal. But here's where people mostly get confused. They assume that waiting more time is gonna equal progress. That's why you see a lot of people at 1 year, 1.5 years to 2 years still not back to their sports and still not being able to run properly. Sports and running, it needs a combination of things. Likely you're gonna need strength, power, stability, control, confidence, balance. There's so many things at play with sports and running that waiting more time isn't gonna solve anything. Most people I talk to at the 12-month stage, or even if you're around that 12 months, let's say you're 10 months, 11 months, plus or minus 1 or 2 months, most people are generally strong, right? But they're not able to express that strength in terms of running and sports. So there's this disconnect essentially between your strength and the goals that you want to get back into, which is running and sports. Let's take an example. You might be able to squat a lot of weight. So let's say 100 pounds, 200 pounds, even 300 pounds. But can you take that strength and translate it to things that actually matter? So let's take running, for example, which is a single leg sport, a single leg activity. Can you then translate that strength into decelerating your leg to make sure that you can actually control that landing? Can you take that into propulsion? So being able to take off on one leg and doing that hundreds of times in a running situation. Most of the time, there's a disconnect between the two. You might be strong in the gym. If you're not able to translate that into running, then it doesn't mean anything. So we need a way to find that, a way to bridge that gap. And that gap usually is a preparation problem. It's not a time problem. So don't wait more time. If you're at the 12-month mark or more, time is not going to solve anything. Preparation will. The second sign is if you've been doing the same exercises for months and nothing is changing, that is a big red flag. You see, with exercises, it's very simple. We use exercise as an adaptation or stimulus. And this is one of the most common things that I see. People doing squats, lunges, step-ups, glute bridges, right? These are just some common examples of exercises that I hear from people rehabbing. There's nothing wrong with those exercises. In fact, those are great exercises, but you need to be doing varieties and progressions in order to keep progressing forward. Think about the first few months after surgery where you might find that squat or lunge difficult and challenging, right? But if you're at the 12-month mark, maybe 13, 14 months, likely those same squats that you're doing at 3 months post-op is not gonna challenge you anymore. So we need to find a way to progress. What are some common ways to progress? Number one, an easy one will be increase your weights, right? That's easy to track. You can see the numbers go up every single week, hopefully every couple weeks. Secondly, you can increase your repetitions. So let's say last month you were able to do 6 reps, now you're able to do 12. That is an improvement in progress. So if you're noticing that you've been doing the same types of exercises for months, that's not normal. A lot of the clients that I work with are progressing every single week, whether it's in weights, in reps, or in progressions like variations of positions. So take a squat, for example, a basic squat. could be translated into so many different positions. There could be a split squat, there could be a side squat, there could be a rotational squat, that could be a drop squat. So there's many variations. If you're not seeing progressions, or if you don't have varieties of things, then how do you expect your body to adapt and change? You see, our bodies are very simple. It needs stimulus in order to adapt and change. So the same thing with ACL rehab. If you've been doing the same things over months and months and things haven't changed, then likely your knee's not going to change. It's not going to get the adaptations that it needs to get stronger. But even with all of that, people still get stuck. So I want to lead you to this third point, which I believe is the most important. The real problem isn't just time, and it's definitely not just the exercises. It's actually structure or lack of structure. You see, ACL rehab, I explain this to my clients all the time. It's like a video game. In a video game where you go through an adventure, right? Let's say there's a final boss at the very end. You can't go straight to the final boss, right? You gotta go through the stages. You gotta go to level 1 with a mini boss, for example, something that's not too difficult. And then you get to something a little bit harder the next stage, level 2, level 3, and so on. So in ACL rehab is the same thing. If you zoom back and rewind back time to a few months ago, likely, think about it, you were probably focused on a different goal a few months ago. Maybe it was learning how to walk again, or it was learning how to squat again for the first time, or feeling comfortable going downstairs or going for a drive in your car. These are all different milestones. So it's the same thing with ACL rehab. You need milestones, and it comes in different stages. So you can't just go straight to running, right? Running might be level 5, for example. You need to be able to defeat level 1 to 4 in order to get back to running. Most people that I see, they want to go straight to level 5 and thinking that they'll be ready for level 5. But level 5 has a big boss called running, and if you lose to this boss, the consequences, you'll have pain and swelling in your knee. And that's what happens usually, right? People don't understand the preparation, and so they want to skip ahead 2 stages and just kind of go straight to the boss. But we need to understand and respect the different milestones, stages, and checklists in order for you to get to the next level. Essentially what I'm saying is you need to earn the right to be able to run and play sports. So let's take running, for example, because this is a common example that I get all the time. In running, we have to realize the demands of running. It's going to be single leg movements, right? It's a repeated single leg hop over hundreds and thousands of times. Think about it. You can visualize what running looks like. It's you on one leg, taking one foot down while the other one's in the air. And as the next one strikes down, this one goes up in the air. So there's a constant kind of cycle of single leg movements. So think about your rehab. Are you only doing double leg exercises, right? If you're doing only double leg exercises, how do you expect the weaker side, likely the ACL side, to get stronger, to feel more confident? So first step is get your single leg strength up in the muscles that actually do the running. So this is going to be your quads, your calves, your hamstrings, your glutes. All these things will tie in together and help you with the demands of running. So this part is important because a good structure and understanding the milestones will change everything, right? All ACL rehab is really just a bunch of checkpoints, milestones, and levels that you gotta beat. You have to earn the right to get to the next level. So first, understand where are you at currently. Assess what stage you're in. So potentially, you might be at the 8-month mark and you might be learning how to jump or land for the first time. So you need to be able to control that landing, probably on single leg, before you can advance to bigger jumps. This is just a quick example, but you can take this and apply this to any other concept in ACL rehab. And leading up to the final boss, usually people's final bosses are playing a sport, whether it's skiing, tennis, golf, waterboarding, water skiing. There's a lot of things that people want to get back to, but the first thing is to understand where you're at, what's the next step that you got to take, earning the right before you move on to the next stage. If you understand this, you're going to understand that you're going to progress so much faster because you can just focus on the milestone ahead of you instead of thinking 5 steps down. So hopefully that made some sense for you. I try to explain this in a very simple concept. If you're still confused and unsure what to do in your current rehab, I put together a free masterclass video. It's about 55 minutes long. I promise you it's worth it. Just take a watch at it. It explains the 3-step approach that I take. I call my system the athletic recovery system, and I explain how this works for all the clients that I work with. So check out the link in the description. It's completely free. Check it out. Let me know what you think. So that's it for today's video. Just to recap, there's 3 clear signs that you need to know if you're progressing or not. So number 1 is time. Number 2 is exercises. Are you changing up your exercises? Are you progressing in them? And lastly, are you having a structure, milestones? Do you understand the level that you have to beat at the moment? And do you know what the progression needed to take to the next step? If one of those things are lacking, most of the chance is you are going to be struggling and be feeling stuck in your rehab. So hopefully this video gave you some insight. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them below. I would love to read where you're at. And please like and subscribe because it just lets me know that this has been helpful for you, and I will continue to keep making more. I'll talk to you in the next one.